Good morning. So there was a certain level and a certain type of censorship that I have been personally keeping a close eye out for. I didn't know where we were going to see it first. I didn't think it was going to be here in the United States. I figured it would be another country. I honestly thought that Australia was a very likely candidate, and a number of the EU countries, for instance. But what I'm talking about is a level of censorship that actually goes after the smaller people. And when I say smaller people, that is not the right term at all. I don't. Select people. Let's say that. Select people. Because they're going to be taking down the people that tell the truth, big or small. It's just a matter of time. It's, because here's the thing. Pretty much everybody starts out small. Some people gain traction and they build big. But if you have a seed, so to speak, if you have a little guy starting out that has the ability to build a large following, they're going to want to nip that in the bud. They're not going to want to let anything fester and get rooted. So you're going to see a very heavy hand come down on any type of alternative media. And I've been watching out for this. I didn't know exactly where it was going to start first. Like I said, it really didn't think it would be here, and it's not. And first of all, there's a lot of people, I think, that get confused when they're talking about the First Amendment, the right to free speech. The right to free speech is only applicable to the government. In other words, the government can't shut you up. Okay? It doesn't mean that private individuals can't shut you up. It doesn't mean any of that. You don't have the right to say whatever you want, wherever you want. That's not, no. If you're disrespecting the wishes of a property owner, they can have you arrested for trespassing if you refuse to leave, right? So, and I know that seems like it's a far cry away from freedom of speech, but it's not. It's absolutely not. In fact, that also involves your property rights. So, if they would go against something like that, against somebody that didn't want to hear a certain message on their property, okay, and so if you take away the ability for them to remove people from their property, right? That's going against his rights. And on the other hand, I believe that people also, and I know it's not a constitutional amendment, but I think people have the right to be left alone. Our rights are, it's often said, our rights are absolute because they're unalienable or unalienable, whichever you choose. I know there's different meaning, blah, 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 gold fringe flag, blah, blah. I get it. I know. Whatever. I think people get so wrapped up in the arguments of semantics that the actual topic gets lost. But I knew they were going to start coming after us smaller folks. And why? Because, well, the big folks come from us small folks at some point or another. So they're going to want to nip all this. They're going to want to cut it all out because they don't want another Tucker Carlson. They don't want another Alex Jones. They don't want, you pick your poison. They don't want somebody else to have even the chance of getting a following, because they need to control the message in their eyes. They need to control the message. So Canada, you may be wondering, well, who? Canada is the one that is seemingly stomping down on this pretty hard. And I've got an article, you know me, I'll put it in the description, first comment. But, like I said, you're going to see this happen quickly. across the planet at this point. I think it was just waiting for the first one to do it. And so I think we're not going to see it come next to the United States, I don't believe. I could be totally wrong on that. I mean, there is, a little bit of a big deal going on, known as an election coming up. So, I don't know. I could be wrong. And the U.S. could slam its hand down hard and heavy, But I don't expect that. But there again, I can't promise you it won't happen either. So, I think we're going to see it more likely over in the UK and in the EU. And I know all during the COVID stuff, there was censorship that was going on, a whole lot of it. But for the most part, those entities, if you will, the alternative media and stuff, they weren't prevented from doing what they do completely. We were heavily censored, but, we weren't just completely wiped off the face of the internet. You know what I mean? There's a difference. This here says, Canadian Radio, Television, and Telecommunications Commission announced new conditions for online streaming services broadcasting in the country. Online streaming services, okay? According to the news release posted on Friday, the body is requiring content providers earning $10 million or more in annual revenue to provide information about their activities and complete a registration form by November 28th. And I get it. $10 million a year? Yeah. They always do it this way. They always get you to put your toes in the water when they know the water is nice and warm right there. But then they have you jump in on the other damn side of the pool, the deep end. Right? That's how that happens. Once they get something, we're only going to tax the rich. It's only going to be, and then they get whatever it is in place, and boom, they just expand and explode it, and next thing you know, everybody's paying higher taxes. This is how they work. The old saying, give them an inch, they take a mile. That's absolutely 100% the case with the government. So yeah, today it may be only the content providers making over $10 million annual revenue. But tomorrow, it might be the guy that's just simply got a monetized YouTube channel with a couple thousand followers. You know what I mean? Have to be very careful. I mean, this is literally a registration for alternative media. Okay? A registration. I'm going to continue on. It says the regulatory plan is devised to ensure that the streaming services, get this, make, and this is a quote, meaningful contributions to Canadian and Indigenous content. Interesting, is it not? Further quote says, we are developing a modern broadcasting framework that can adapt to the changing circumstances. To do that, we need broad engagement and robust public records. Vicky Etrides, chairperson of the Chief Executive Office of the CRTC, said as quoted by the website. So they need broad engagement, meaning they need their greasy, grimy little hands all over it at all times, and robust public records, meaning you better log every time you fart. Not good. Still, the move was widely criticized in Canada and beyond. Elon Musk, the ex-CEO, slammed the Trudeau government for trying to suppress free speech in the country. This is a quote, Trudeau is trying to crush free speech in Canada. Shameful, Musk said on an X post on Sunday. Absolutely. Says remarks come in response to a tweet by a journalist and columnist Glenn Greenwald, who reposted the CRTC news release criticizing the censorship. Canadian government, armed with one of the world's most repressive online censorship schemes, announces that all online streaming services that offer podcasts must formally register with the government to permit regulatory controls, Greenwald lamented in his post. I mean, this is something that's got to be stopped. And I mean, as in, like, now. Because if you let this get legs, I'm telling you, folks won't stand a chance. But this is going to take, you know, another side of it too. It means that alternative media, and that would include preparedness channels, if you're going to be discussing the news and stuff, then this includes you too. Stop the bullshit. Because all of the lies, all of the agenda, all of the bullshit that you guys are carrying on is going to come back and bite us in the ass. Because they're going to say, these are the reasons why we're coming down on this. These are the reasons why we're coming down on this. Stop giving them reasons. Shalom.